They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start another edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last time we spent a little time with you, roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show keeping you abreast of the weather here in South Louisiana. This time of year, typically only 2, well, you could make an addendum to possibly 3 things we center our attention on. First and foremost, the heat and humidity. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to change anytime soon. Next 7 days, expect heat indexes in triple digits. And of course, South Louisiana, along with that comes the thunderstorms throughout the afternoon and evening hours all across our area. But we also, conventional wisdom would say, and would be right in this particular instance, we keep an eye on the tropics because it is, of course, approaching the busiest part of the hurricane season. Tropical Storm Fred actually weakened to a tropical depression last night. However, the storm is expected to likely stay over water. And of course, if you're a South Louisianian by now, you know that means the possibility of some strengthening. The system is expected to make a northward turn after entering the Gulf of Mexico, the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, which means, of course, for those of us here in this part of God's country, it shouldn't be a threat. Now, that being said, it is still early in the forecast trek. And as you well know, again, at the risk of being redundant, you can never be over-prepared for storms of this nature. Under-prepared, certainly. Overly prepared, no such beast. Meanwhile, there is a bit further out in the Atlantic, another tropical wave moving toward the eastern Caribbean. That system, according to forecasters, has a 30 to 60% chance of developing over the next 5 days and is expected to take a path similar to, if not almost identical to that of Fred. Bottom line, if you've not already done so, I have no idea what you could potentially be waiting for. Get the game plan together, guys and girls, because to use some baseball jargon, we are rounding third and, well, actually rounding second and heading toward third as far as the activity for hurricane season is concerned. Word to the wise, it's supposed to be sufficient. Shifting gears. You know, in recent memory, many of us have bemoaned the fact that time-honored institutions no longer occupy certain spaces for America. Higher education, what many of us typically thought was just that, higher education, has now become more indoctrination than anything else. The news media, at one time trusted immensely in this country, has lost credibility among folks by leaps and bounds. In the run-up to the 2020 presidential election, Donald Trump uttered something that has now become a part of the American lexicon. The phrase, fake news. Who would have ever thought that a two-word phrase would catch on the way it did, and maybe even more befuddling is the fact that after it caught on, all the media attention, all the attention of the American populace in general focused on it, they continue to ignore the problem. As a matter of fact, do things to exacerbate the problem. An interesting poll out from the Rasmussen polling organization, and it was spurred by Donald Trump issuing the phrase, quote, "The media are truly the enemy of the people." So Rasmussen took that and ran with it. They called 1,000 American voters and asked a very simple question, because as you know, a lot of folks that don't buy into polls will quickly tell you, well, you can make a poll say pretty much anything you want it to say. It all depends on how you ask the question. So Rasmussen boiled it all down to a very simple question. Do you agree or disagree with the statement, the media are truly the enemy of the people? The results, 34% said they strongly agree with the statement. 24% said they somewhat agree with the statement. 13% saying they somewhat disagree. 58%, a majority of those polled American voters, say, yeah, I believe that these folks truly are the enemy of the people. Obviously, there was some partisan divide in the responses. For example, those who identify as being conservative, 56% said we strongly agree. 25% said we somewhat agree. 81% of conservatives say it's a problem. On the other side of the political aisle, Democrats, ironically, and for the life of me, I don't know how they got these numbers, but Rasmussen is what it is. Among self-identified liberals, 11% said they strongly agree. 19% said they somewhat agree. What I found interesting in this particular poll is, as a follow-up question, they asked, quote, do you trust the political news that you're getting? Only 37% said yes, 43% said no. Here's the interesting part. 61% of conservatives said, I don't trust the political news coming from the media. Liberals, by contrast, 56% of them said, we don't trust the political news that we're getting. So if the majority of Democrats don't trust the political news that they're getting, how is the response to whether or not the media is fair, how is that so low? It is, I guess one of the conundrums of political thought in America. But at the end of the day, if you don't trust the political news that you're getting, conventional wisdom would say, well, what else are you lying to me about? It is an institution that the founding fathers realized early on is vital to the existence and the survival of this republic. You've got to have a free press, not influenced by politics, social trends, agendas, what have you. When you lose that, it's the American people who end up suffering, because obviously, and they have demonstrated this time and time and time again, the politicians have their own interest at heart. They don't care about the American people. And one of the founding principles of this country was structured such that when this happens, when government no longer becomes responsive to the will and the needs of the people are able, through a free press, to be able to decide what is the best course of action for them. Now that I think about it, maybe that's the point behind the whole thing. It's disturbing news, and it is part of a larger trend that we've seen developing for quite some time. We are closing in on our first break of today's show. When we come back, I don't know whether to label this segment as the old adage with the question mark, who's running this ship? Or the old adage that makes a statement, the inmates are running the asylum. Don't know if you've seen this, but this one just leaves you scratching your head. I'll give you a hint. Been to the gas pump lately? You watching prices? Are the inmates running the asylum? That's next when we continue the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf & Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Go where summer leads you.
and an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you were with us heading into the previous commercial break, I mentioned, I don't know whether this segment should fall under the headline question, who's running the ship? Or if it would be more appropriate to put it under the headline statement, are the inmates running the asylum? Have you been to the gas station recently? Those of you that drive, and even those of you that don't, I'm sure if you rely on someone else, then if you help them out with gas money or what have you, you know the prices have gone up. In the course of the pandemic, since the restart of the economy, gas is over $1 a gallon higher than it was prior. Let me say for the record, this is not just about gas prices. You've heard any number of people use the phrase, if you bought it, a truck brought it. Meaning, prices go up. What do trucks run on? Petrochemical, oil, gas, diesel. The trucking companies that bring pretty much every single thing we can purchase are not going to eat that whole cookie by themselves. When the prices go up, they raise their prices. When they raise their prices, everybody else raises theirs as well. So you are now running the risk of inflation, which we've seen all across the board here in recent memory, picking up more steam, more steam, more steam. So this week, in response to the ever-increasing cost of oil and gas, the Biden administration announcing they're calling on OPEC and other oil-producing allies to boost production in an effort to combat these prices. Economics 101, pretty simple. Supply and demand. Let's say, for those of you that have no idea of economics or how to run a business, let's say you have 5 versions of whatever that you sell. Everybody wants one. You very quickly realize, whoa, I'm selling this for $5.99, but so many people want them. The first thing they ask is, can I get one of those? I only have so many. How much you sell it for? $5.99. I'll give you $10 for it. Sold. So the price goes up. Why? Because there's such a great demand. Conversely, if you have shelves just overflowing with these things, nobody wants to buy it, what do? Slash the price to try and entice them to buy. The White House claims that they are concerned that this is going to hamper the economic recovery in this country and around the world. We understand the White House says in a statement, the pain that this brings to American families who are attempting to recover from the pandemic. So let me get this straight. You supposedly have a reasonable understanding of economics and what it's going to take for our economy to recover. You are asking, same group of people, mind you, OPEC and others to increase production to try and drop the price. And yet, one of the very first things you did when you gained control of the White House was to cancel the Keystone XL pipeline. Do y'all remember one of the crowning achievements, among many, by the way, despite what the mainstream media will try to feed you, one of the crowning achievements of the Trump administration was that once again we achieved energy independence, meaning we no longer have to rely on anybody else for our energy needs, be it an ally, be it someone who doesn't care for us. We don't need y'all. We have enough oil and gas for our own needs, and as a matter of fact, we've got so much of it that we're selling it to other people, helping our economy. So in a span now of 7 months, we have gone from energy independence to begging OPEC, would y'all please put some more gas in the market so that we can try to hold the price down? Now, it's bad enough that you did away with all these jobs that would have been connected to, related to the Keystone XL pipeline. That in and of itself was bad enough, because taking all of those dollars out of the economy would very quickly stall the economic recovery. But in addition to killing all those jobs, you have put us in a position where our energy future depends on someone else. I don't know if he would feel this way or not, but I got to imagine Donald J. Trump, in seeing this, the White House asking OPEC to boost production, he might be tempted to ask, y'all miss me yet? Y'all miss me yet? Totally, completely energy independent. Hey, this Venezuela, we got some extra oil. Y'all need some? Nah, bro, we good. Matter of fact, I was just about to call you to ask if you wanted to buy some because we got extra. We went from that to, hey, this Joe Biden calling. Can y'all put some more gas on the market to try to help us keep the prices down? You know the phrase, the inmates are running the asylum? It's certainly appropriate here. Not in, well, wait on second thought. At least as it pertains to this story. Not in a criminal nature. But in the vein of, how do we end up with the least qualified individuals in charge of stuff? How does that happen? I mean, that's economics 101, y'all. Now listen, I get it, I understand. And they'll never say this to you, but 90+% of the American people already know it. The canceling of the Keystone XL pipeline, that was political payback, is all it was. That was the Biden administration living up to, if y'all elect me, environmentalist wackos, give me your vote, and I'm going to cancel Keystone. And that would probably explain why it was so high on the list of things that he did the second he hit office. Now, either you were born this stupid or you just worked real hard at perfecting it, but you never thought, what is this going to do to Americans, to their jobs, to our energy independence? What is this going to do to the economic recovery? What is this going to do to the pockets of families who are struggling to recover after the forced lockdowns? Apparently, you didn't take the time to think about that at all. Because if you did, I would like to hope that you would be a good enough leader to say, yeah, environmentalists, look, I know what I told y'all, but that's going to have to wait a while, because if we do this, it's going to hurt our economy. If I do this, it's going to wipe out a whole lot of jobs. If I do this, we are going to run the risk of prices going through the roof, and that's going to hurt everybody. But I guess there's something to be said about a politician's word being what it is. I told you, if you voted for me, I was going to cancel it. Simple question. How's that working out for us? Keep watching the prices at the pump, y'all. I'm pretty sure they're going to continue to go up. And I just hope that you remember who's responsible. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. Speaking of the inmates running the asylum / the most transparent administration in history. That's up next when we continue the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, It is so refreshing, and please accept this in the spirit that it's given. It's refreshing to see certain things confirmed, / unfortunately, at the expense of the American people. Remember when news first broke of our situation at the border with illegal immigration, how we were told, well, it's not a crisis, it's a challenge. And we were told that it's not a challenge, it's a situation. Well, we're on top of it, we got it covered. We've appointed a new border czar, Vice President Kamala Harris, who never set foot near the border until 3 days before Donald Trump announced, I've been invited to come and tour the border. Now, never mind the fact that the city the vice president chose to visit was 800 miles away from the hot spots of immigration in Texas. And additionally, we still don't have a plan from her after her trip to find the root causes of the migration in Central America. Fast forward to this week, and the Department of Homeland Security and other Democrat/liberals/progressives told us there's no correlation between the tens of hundreds of thousands of people coming across our border illegally and then being shipped to God knows where around America. There's no correlation between that and the rise in COVID cases. KXAN TV is a station out of Austin. And this week, in a report, they found out that the city of Laredo is shipping, as if we didn't know this already, hundreds of illegal aliens to Austin, Houston, every single day, and none of them are being tested for COVID. The mayor of Laredo, a Democrat, by the way, calls it a, quote, public health crisis. Mayor Pete Sayens, the mayor of Laredo, says his city is sending out charter buses, 4 of them, every single day, with a total of 200 illegals that have been sent to them by the Border Patrol from the Rio Grande Valley to Laredo. All of them released by federal authorities to travel around the country. Now get this. McAllen, Texas, reports about 1,700 a day. It's gotten to the point now where McAllen is overrun. They don't have the resources anymore. So what are they doing? They're shipping them to Laredo. Laredo is now overrun. So what are they doing? They're shipping them on to Austin, to Houston, and other places. Here's what should infuriate you. And this is whether you are Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, whatever. These folks are not being tested. But when they were testing, the mayor of Laredo says 35 to 40% of them tested positive for COVID. Now, we all know how infectious this is. Everybody knows by now. So, looking at their recommendation, the government, looking at their recommendation, social distance, wear your masks, get tested. If you decide, get the vaccine. None of this is being adhered to by the federal government. None of it. This should infuriate you because think about it. We were told not so very long ago that you got to do your part. You need to stay away from people. You need to social distance. You need to. But they apparently don't need to do any of this. I would imagine Mayor Saines is probably going to be the next up to be canceled because he's just being honest with the American people, but that truth does not align with the agenda. At the end of the day, these are people's lives you're playing with. And I understand you folks are political. Y'all do what y'all do. I get it. But please don't act as though, well, I have no idea why people don't trust what we're telling them. It might have a little something to do with you say one thing, but you do something else. These folks are literally overrunning America. Remember I told you earlier this week, once the news of this really started gaining steam and momentum, the Department of Homeland Security issued a statement that started out with, very first thing in there, well, we take our obligation to protect the citizens, we take that seriously. So that's why you only have 3 medical personnel to tend to the needs of 3,000 people. A facility, by the way, that's only designed to hold 250 people. You know, there are any number. I don't know if we have a number large enough to use as a reference point. There are any number of differences Republicans and Democrats have in this country. Any number of differences black people and white people have in this country. Any number of differences gay and straight people have in this country. But I think we can all agree that in the midst of a pandemic, keeping close tabs on who's coming and going into your country is pretty much a must. And it leads one to wonder, are the inmates running the asylum? You know what's even scarier than all of this? The lack of response, the lack of transparency from the most transparent administration in history is the fact that these folks apparently feel as though they were appointed to rule, not elected to serve. Here's why I say that. 25 members of Congress, 4 freaking months ago, sent a letter signed by all of them to the head of the Department of Homeland Security wanting information on how many are you holding, how many have tested positive, where are they going. That request was made 4 months ago. And it's as though DHS is just thumbing its nose at Congress. They have yet to hear a peep. As a matter of fact, a second letter was sent out this week saying, hey, yeah, this us in Congress, you know, the highest legislative body in the entire country. We requested some information from y'all 4 months ago regarding what's going on at the border. And we haven't heard any response yet. What does that tell you? Well, I mean, you know, aside from the obvious, what does that say to you? Now, again, politicians being who they are and doing what they do, I guess I don't necessarily blame the guy at the top of DHS. Conventional wisdom says you really should blame these folks in Congress because they swore an oath to protect, defend, and uphold the Constitution of this country and its citizenry. What are you doing after 4 months of begging? Could y'all please come and give us some information? Why aren't you raising holy hell over this? Why don't you drag his butt in there under subpoena and say, look, bruh, we sent you a request 4 months ago. And you apparently feel as though we don't deserve an answer, or the American people, for that matter. 4 months ago. Still waiting. I'll tell you what, let's send them another letter. Is this the government we voted for? Nope. But it's the government we've got. The most transparent administration in history. Wink, wink. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. You know, it is so very amazing how, if God blesses you to stick around long enough, you see the wisdom and the validity of time-tested statements. I guess that's why they are what they are. We realize, hopefully, the longer we're here, that these things have persisted, been around, haven't been discarded, because they're true and they make for a better human, if not / American experience. When I saw this story, I said to myself, wow, 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. But it also reinforced with me how remote learning and the pandemic has benefited America as far as opening our eyes to what's going on in public schools. We all know that one of the biggest benefits that came out of the civil rights era was the opportunity for people of color to take advantage of everything America has to offer, particularly education. It went all the way to the highest court in the land, and they ruled that separate but equal has no place in America. They confirmed, did the Supreme Court, you can't take one specific group of people based just about solely on the color of their skin and make certain accommodations. Enter Atlanta, Georgia. A parent there, Keila Posey, found out last week that apparently the folks, at least one principal in Atlanta, never got the memo from the 60s that said separate but equal is illegal. Keila Posey only stumbled across something because she inquired about having her child put in a different class because the nature of the teacher was such that she thought it would be a better fit for her child. You know, we all going through school had teachers that for whatever reason we didn't see eye to eye with, we didn't get along with, they didn't motivate us, whatever. And if there was another teacher teaching the exact same thing, that their personality matched your child's better, then, okay, let's see if we can get you in that class and maybe you'll do better. So sure enough, she goes to the school to talk to the principal there about getting her child transferred to the other class that she thought would be a better fit. The principal informed her that that's not going to work because that's not one of the black classes. She said, well, what do you mean it's not one of the black classes? Well, the principal then informed her she decided to segregate all of the kids at that school according to race. There are 6 classes taught by 6 different teachers that have only white kids in the class. There are 2 all black classes with 2 different teachers, and no white kids are allowed to attend. So the parent said, well, wait a minute, this has left me totally confused. I thought segregation in public schools and accommodations had been outlawed. You mean to tell me, quote, we have those in school? According to the parent, she proceeded to say, the principal, yes, I have decided that I'm going to place all of the black students in 2 classes. Now, aside from being illegal, segregating by race in public education, aside from that, what about what is the unspoken reality of school in a non-segregated environment? How are black kids and white kids supposed to learn to get along, coexist with one another, if when they go to school, they arrive at school all together, black and white, but when the bell rings, y'all go over here and y'all go over there? And this was decided by a principal in a school. Now, conventional wisdom says, and this just turned conventional wisdom on its head, conventional wisdom would say, as a principal, she is supposed to be an educated individual. That's scary when educated individuals can sit down and rationalize how something that the highest court in the land has already declared to be illegal, how there's any saving grace to that. COVID, I guess, if we will thank you down the road for anything, one of those things is definitely going to include waking America up to what's happening in our schools. Oh, and by the way, y'all, I neglected to mention the principal at this Atlanta school, wait for it, is a black woman. I would maybe assume she is so young that she either wasn't taught or didn't pay attention to the civil rights struggle and what came out of this in this country. I'm assuming that she has no knowledge of the National Guard being called out to escort young black children into schools where they could sit and learn with white kids. I am assuming she's either too young or too dumb, or all of the above, to understand that you are stunting the social growth of these people, these young students. Because, you know, lest we forget, at some point in life, white people gonna have to interact with black people. At some point in life, black people gonna have to interact with white people. And the sooner you learn that, the better the outcome will be. And we all know you don't have to be, you know, an educator with all these alphabets behind your name to know that the easiest way for something to become a part of an individual's nature is exposing them to that at an early age. So if this teacher, this principal rather, has her way, it will be probably college age by the time these white students and black students have the opportunity to interact with one another. And this woman is in charge of running an operation to educate children in Atlanta. Just when you thought we couldn't do anything more stupid. We just keep breathing, and whoop, here it comes. I guess some people might make the argument that if it was a white principal that had done this, it would be an example of white supremacy. For those that would be of that opinion, I wish I could have a conversation with them and ask, so since the principal's black, what does that mean? Just to see their heads tie up in a knot. Just saying. Just saying. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Bayou Smokehouse, the home of old school barbecue, is where we tape the show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday live. And of course, as soon as yours truly signs off in 55 seconds from now, my dear friends, the Exiles, Kevin Gallagher, Bill Profita, will be up next. They would appreciate it sincerely if you were to stick around and give them an hour or so of your time. Don't forget, guys, girls, over the weekend, keep an eye on the tropics. If you've not already done so, get your game plan and get yourself in gear. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Best news out of that deal is there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves. God bless.